What is up, YouTube? We are back here to cover Week One NFL football. I gotta say, we had some exciting games. We had some really good games this weekend. Some ugly ones too, but it was a great weekend. Great start to the NFL season. I loved it. I loved every moment. Um, our picks were not so good. I say not so good. We went 8-7, so over 50%, which I think for Week One, not having much real film on every team, it's okay. Definitely gonna learn from it, build from it, and be better. So we got a lot of games to talk about. So let's just get right on into it. So first game, I got my notes on my phone again. So sorry if I keep looking over here. It's just so I can see where I'm at. So Friday night, we had Chiefs Chargers in Brazil, and I think it lived up to expectations. Kind of more shocked, especially out of the Chiefs. They looked slow to start the game. Just couldn't really get things going on offense. Defense was playing all right, but there were definitely little slips in the cracks early on. And I mean, Xavier Worthy getting hurt first quarter after getting ran into by Travis Kelsey. Was it intentional? Was it not? I mean, I don't know. I don't like try to buy into all of that, but Taylor Swift's a big fan of Xavier Leggett, not Leggett, Worthy. So you tell me. You tell me. But Chargers look good. Chargers ran the ball when they wanted to. Justin Herbert, I mean, just slinging the rock everywhere. Throw at will. Seemed like he had little no pressure all game. He was making almost every throw. I think he might have had one or two misses, but nothing bad to write home about. And for the first time throughout a whole game, Justin Herbert consistently used his athleticism to his advantage. I mean, third and long with the game on the line. Chiefs are trying to get a stop to get the ball back with a chance to take the lead, and Justin Herbert scrambles for a first down to end it. I mean, it was funny the whole time he was running. He was just cheesing. He was smiling. So I think for the Chargers, it was a great felt win for sure. For the Chiefs, they they got some things to figure out. I think the defense is just it's week one. It's live bullets. You know, you're going against somebody who isn't in your building and knows the scheme. That is bound to happen. So I just still don't think it's gonna be a bad defense. You got some questions in terms of their linebackers and secondary pieces, but I think they'll come around. They have Spagnola, so Spagnola always gets it figured out mid-season, late season easily. I'm more concerned about this offense. Mahomes in the second half looked like vintage Mahomes, but that first half was rough. And as we saw here, an offense that if you're playing against an offense that's actually competent, you're not going to always be able to come back. Him and Travis Kelsey had a nice little connection for a touchdown. Kelsey had a decent game. Xavier Worthy had a couple good touches, but before he got hurt, and after they had Hollywood Brown have a decent game. But as much as you hate to say it, this team needs Rashid Rice back. They just need that extra playmaker because they can't keep relying on guys like Juju Smith-Schuster to make plays because very inconsistent. I just they're not going to win a whole lot of ball games like that. So I know they're missing him, Rashid Rice for sure. But gonna have to wait 5 more weeks for that to happen. But all in all, Chargers had a good start to the season. This is a division win, and this counts as a Chargers road game, I believe is what they said. So the Chargers, the next time they play them, will be in Los Angeles. So they don't even have to go to Arrowhead this year, which is a big plus for them if they're in any type of division race, playoff race. It's huge. Basically, get home field advantage against one of their division opponents. So it's a good get on the road 1-0 start for them. Now let's get to some of these 1 o'clock games. The 1 o'clock games is where we were a little closer getting them right. My Panthers, man, just I don't know. Jaguars win 26-10, and I don't. We'll start with the Jags. Trevor Lawrence looked good. Had a couple questionable throws, had one turnover, but he looked like he had good rhythm, good solid footwork, delivered some good throws. ETN is having a great start to a bounce back year. I mean, he had 143 yards on the ground, put him in good spots. Granted, Brian Thomas didn't do a whole lot for this offense, but they were able to run the ball pretty well. And other guys were getting open on the passing game. Their tight ends, running backs out of the backfield. When Brian Thomas was getting double covered, other guys were making plays. So they looked like they were flowing well. The defense at times looked really good, at times looked a little lack. So they were a little up and down, but again, it's week one, it's early, you're still installing things. I think they're only going to tighten up as the season progresses. On the Panthers side, that defense, I mean, it looks better than last year's, but not much. I mean, last year they gave up almost 70 in week one, so 26 is a huge upgrade, but hardly any pressure on Lawrence. About the only highlights were really J.C. Horn getting a one-handed pick. It was clean, but I mean, it was 23 at that point. Offense looked a little inconsistent. To start the game, they ran the ball well. Chuba had a couple good carries back to back, and they were rolling. That opened up some passing lanes. And Bryce was able to hit a couple throws early, but then it was like as the game went on, Panthers receivers had a couple drops. It was like he was losing confidence. I remember one play. It was third and goal, rolling left, and he's got Leggett in the corner, and he's got Trimble, no, Jatavion Sanders right in front of him. And he's got time to make a throw, and it looks like he couldn't really decide on what he wanted to do. So he just sails it out of bounds. Not even close to anybody. I'm like, is that like a confidence? Is that just a week one bonehead mistake? I don't know, but there were some things in there I didn't like from Bryce. So I don't want to write him off too early, even though this is technically his third year. But something's got to change, I think. He didn't look quite like the Bryce end of last year when they went 2-1 in their last three. I'm gonna need some of that Bryce back, not this new one. Granted, T Mac made some plays. T Mac looked really, really good. I'm excited to see where he'll develop. He had one or two passes thrown his way that I think he should have came down with that he didn't, but he made some other really good ones. They looked at him early on third down without Adam Thielen, so it's good to see that the organization and the coaching staff's already starting to trust him for that wide receiver one role. So I'm excited to see with his potential where it takes him. But all in all, this was just kind of one of those one team gets an early lead, kind of grinds it out, and the other one just can't get nothing going. So interesting to see how these two teams bounce back week two. We got this one right. Cardinals Saints was a lot closer than I thought. It was a touchdown difference. Looked like neither offense could really get things going. I mean, the Cardinals have better playmakers and a better quarterback, and that's basically the difference in the game. Both had some solid defenses going on, so I'm glad the Saints play in our division because that team does not look that good. Cardinals might still be a threat like they were last year. They might be looming a little bit in their division. So it's going to be. I'm interested to see how Marvin Harrison improves in year two, building that chemistry with Kyler, especially if Kyler can stay healthy and stay on the field. But that's a lot of what if hypotheticals that we won't get answers to until we get later into the season. The other game, this was one of the more shocking ones. The Colts beat the Dolphins 33-8. 33 Daniel Jones as a starting quarterback. 33-8. The Colts had 7 possessions the whole game. They scored on all 7. Whether it was touchdown, field goal, they were efficient. They were scoring. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised for the fact that it's Shane Steichen and those weapons. They have solid weapons. I'm like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. They got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. They got Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, Adonai Mitchell. They got the rookie Tyler Warren. They got a solid offensive line. I'm not surprised that they were able to be that consistent. What shocks me is that Daniel Jones played that consistent. Daniel Jones threw 2 touchdowns and ran one on the ground. It's like, where is this coming from? We hadn't saw a game this good out of Daniel Jones in New York since maybe his rookie debut against the Bucks, like 6 years ago when he got drafted. So it was kind of out of left field, but don't call it a comeback. Don't call it a comeback. But if he can keep it up, Colts look like a real threat. They got a good defense, especially for Tua to be that bad. I mean, Tua just played awful. Tua finished the game with a touchdown, 2 picks. He didn't even finish the game. Didn't even finish the game. Zach Wilson came in relief, so that's how you know it was bad. And it got ugly quick out there. They're starting to trend in that territory of, do they clean house? Do they get rid of Tyreek Hill? Do they get rid of Mike McDaniel? There's a lot of bad things happening over in Miami. So I'm interested to see where that team goes, whereas the Colts look like they're ascending in a division that just might be up for grabs based off of how this weekend looked. The next game, got this one right. We had Raiders Patriots in a close game. Gino didn't really do a whole lot. The playmakers made a couple plays between Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, who left the game early with an injury. Genty looked solid. Defense played all right. It was the Patriots. Patriots were a little inconsistent on offense as well. Year 2 of Drake May, first full game with Mike Vrabel as your head coach. Defense came to play. Patriots defense looked very good. Offense was very inconsistent. They were only able to really put together 2 solid drives, one leading to a touchdown, one leading to a field goal in the fourth quarter. So, interested to see how they develop that offense because I think they have some solid playmakers. I like the rookie Trevon Henderson out of Ohio State. He looked great during the preseason. He looked solid in this game. They have some younger talent to work with, especially with a quarterback like Drake May. I mean, he's got a cannon of an arm. He can make a throw from anywhere on the field to anywhere on the field. But they're going to have to be able to lean into his skill set a little bit and be able to teach him how to manage games and make good decisions. There was a couple throws I'm sure he wants back, especially on third downs. Third downs were a little rough for him. But again, like I'm going to say for a lot of these, it's week 1. It is early. Nobody's offense is going to be really perfect this time of year. We got this one right narrowly. Steelers beat Jets by 2 points, and Aaron Rodgers returned to New York after playing there 1 full year and then being on the roster 2 years ago when he tore his Achilles. Aaron looked like Aaron of old. Came out and threw 4 of them things. I was kind of shocked, especially for everybody who's getting touchdowns except DK Metcalf. He was still getting his targets and he was still getting his splash plays, but the other guys stepped up to score today. So it was almost weird to see, but it worked. Couldn't really run the ball, which is weird for a Pittsburgh team. We're used to them being more grind you out, ground and pound, on to the next one type mentality versus slinging it. But they threw the ball very efficiently. The Jets actually looked really solid. Justin Fields made some good throws. He didn't really turn the ball over. He used his athleticism to help in the backfield with Breece Hall. He looks like he has a good connection with Garrett Wilson early. This game strictly came down to a 4th down. Ball gets thrown to Garrett Wilson. Looks like it's going to be an easy catch for a 1st down. And Jalen Ramsey just levels Garrett Wilson for an incompletion. We end the game. So Pittsburgh's defense stepped up when they needed to, but this didn't look like a Pittsburgh defense of old. I mean, to allow 32 points to this Jets team could raise some red flags. Still early, but I think Tomlin's definitely week 2 hammering that defense to be better. Because if you're able to consistently get that type of Aaron Rodgers performance from him and from that offense, and get your typical Steelers defense, we may have a new threat in the AFC. I'm not willing to commit to that yet, just because of their division. But just saying, the Steelers look good week one. Aaron looks solid. Looked like Aaron of about 2 to 3 years ago, before the injury and before being in New York. Looks solid. Next game we got Giants Commanders. I mean, Jane Daniels did his thing. I feel like they did leave some points on the table. Could have went out and got more, but that defense played really good, especially against a Giants team that offensively I don't know what they're doing. Not very good at running the ball. The offensive line's still a little questionable. Russell Wilson did not look good. I understand he's the vet. He made high completion throws, but that's the problem. He made high completion throws. 3rd and 6, he's throwing a check down that's getting 1 yard and getting tackled. You can't do that every time, especially in a game that you went down 2 scores early in. Can't do that. I I'd be shocked if Wilson plays another 3 games at this rate. I think if they get more gameplay like that with Wilson, they're gonna turn over to Dart sooner. Especially because Malik Neighbors didn't get a whole lot of touches until the second half. I feel like you need to get your young star the ball earlier, just to open up the game for everybody else. Because they didn't really double team him a whole lot in the first half. They were just going single coverage, saying beat us with your arm, and Malik just didn't get the ball. I refuse to believe that he was getting locked up the whole time in the first half just because of his raw talent. But he can't throw it and catch it himself. So, need better quarterback play out of the Giants for sure. The defense did look good. That D line wreaked havoc, helped with the secondary for sure. Linebackers still a little questionable, especially on the interior, but you can kind of cover that up with your D line having that many edge threats and D tackles. They're just able to eat up blocks, make tackles. So, Giants, I wouldn't worry just yet, just because you got the rookie with some high end talent that hadn't played yet. So, just give it time, see what happens. Maybe Russell gets it together, so it's playing like Russell in Pittsburgh. I don't foresee it, but you got to hold out for something, right? Next, we got Bengals Browns. I got this one right, but I was sweating it out because I should have known. Week one, Joe Burrow in Cleveland never plays good. Never plays good. He didn't really play that bad. He didn't have a turnover, but he had 1 touchdown, only like 140 yards. Not typical Joe Burrow game. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins didn't really get after it. It was Chase Brown that was scoring the touchdowns for him. So it's just, it's still early. The defense did show up to play. Granted, is there really a whole lot to write home on about the Browns? I mean, Joe Flacco's your starting quarterback. Dylan Sampson played good. I'll give him credit. Letting go of Nick Chubb and getting Dylan Sampson might pay off just because Dylan Sampson looks like a playmaker. But a lot of those receivers weren't really doing a whole lot. Tight ends, Njoku made a couple plays. Browns defense is still just as good as they have been, but the offense, I don't know. I don't think Joe's going to play the whole year. I think eventually they're going to turn the keys over to either Dylan Gabriel or Shador. So it's going to be a roller coaster ride for them. If the Bengals defense can play somewhat as consistent as they did against the Browns, the Bengals will be back. They will be in the upper echelon tier of the AFC. Because I do think Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, that offense will get clicking. It's just week one. They had to get one game under their belts to get into a rhythm. That's how it was last year. We saw what they did last year. So, just going to keep our eyes on both teams. This is our big division win early for the Bengals. Get it out of week one. Next time they play them, it's in Cincinnati. So, good for them. This game, I caught the end of this game. My uncle's a Bucks fan. Shout out to Bucks. This was a great finish to a game. Bucks Falcons week one. If you remember last year, back when Kirk Cousins was running the show, they swept the Bucks, humiliated them. Bucks couldn't do anything against them defensively. Offensively, they keep up. Defensively, could not get stops, save their lives. This game was a little different. For a good while, it was back and forth between the two. Michael Penix looked solid. The only touchdown he had was on a 50-yard pass to Bijan Robinson. For the Bucks, Baker had a slow start, but he was still cooking. He was still hitting his guys. Evans, Emeka Buka for two of them things. The defenses were hit or miss. The only thing that makes this very, very entertaining is Bucks. No, Falcons take the lead late with like a minute and a half left. No, 2.5 left because they had 2-minute warning, two timeouts. Baker takes them right down the field. He's hitting throws. They get a pass interference call to go their way. They're moving. With just under a minute left, a 30-yard strike on a post route to Emeka Buka to take the lead. But instead of having a 4-point lead with under a minute left, kicker kicks it off the post, miss. Falcons get all the way down in field goal range with just a couple seconds left, and Young Wake, who just absolutely shanks it. Just absolutely shanks it. A guy that we're used to kind of being reliable in these situations just wasn't even close. Bucks sneak out of there with a win. Again, another early division game. Early good division win for the Buccaneers. Baker's not going to play that bad again, so I can only see the Bucks going up from here. The only thing that I worry about is their age in on defense. I feel like eventually the age is going to catch up to them in key spots like linebacker, some pieces of the secondary, but it's still early. They're healthy. The Bucks, in my opinion, are have the potential to play like a top 4 team in the NFC, but only time will tell on how well that holds up. Another kind of sloppy game that we got wrong. 49ers beat Seattle Seahawks by 4. Brock Purdy did not look good. McCaffrey even played. McCaffrey had a solid day. Brock Purdy did not look good. Brock Purdy was making throws he shouldn't have been. Defense is just picking him off left and right. I think he threw 3. He did not look good. George Kittle got hurt in this game on one of the hospital balls that Purdy threw. I'm surprised by how the defense played, but at the same time, was the defense good or was Sam Darnold just bad? Because Sam Darnold also did not have a good game. They didn't have a good game. Couldn't really run the ball well. It was kind of the war of attrition of whose offense is going to break through first. And it was the 49ers offense that broke through first, and it just so happened that they then forced a turnover to end the game. So, again, it's still an early division win. It's big for them, trying to build some confidence off of a rugged off season with getting rid of Deebo Samuel, losing half of your defense, and you still got a quote unquote star receiver recovering from injury in Brandon Ayuk. So you're running out there Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall. And then George Kittle gets hurt in this game. I don't know how well they're gonna bounce back after all these things. But they get an early win week 1. Seattle, I wouldn't panic yet. It's been one game from Sam Darnold. He's learning a new system. Your defense is still there, so I think the defense is going to help bail out and give you more possessions for your offense. And I think that's just what they need. I think they need more live reps just together. Some cohesion on the offensive line. Sam to get a little more comfortable throwing the ball to Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith. I think that's all it's going to take. I wouldn't burn bridges yet. It's still early. So let's just pump some brakes there. Titans Broncos, this game was closer than I thought. I going into it, I'm like, this is a Sean Payton led offense. Year two with Bo Nix. You still got weapons around him. You still got a top 10 defense. I'm like, this is gonna be make or break for Cam Ward. And I will be honest. Cam Ward impressed. The numbers might not show it, but when you look back at the tape, Cam Ward made some throws. I think it's just the sheer fact that Titans are kind of bad on offense. He made some really good throws out there. He kept them in this game for a good while. And that defense actually played really well. Forced a couple turnovers out of Bo Nix. Some bad turnovers. I mean, we're talking rollouts, cross bodies to that are just sailing on guys. So I think Titans could be that little wild card. Like you're gonna overlook them, but then they're gonna come in and give you a dogfight for sure. But Denver still comes out with the win. That defense still looked really good, like they were last year. I'd hope so. They paid a lot of those guys from last year, but Bo and them boys gotta figure it out. They can't keep playing like that every week and expect to win games. Not in this league. Um, the next game after that, Packers Lions in Green Bay. I was shocked by this one as well. Lions lose by 14 to Green Bay. Green Bay looked good on both sides of the ball. Micah made his debut. He didn't play a whole lot of snaps, but when he did, he was effective. Got a sack on Goff on a big third down to get the offense off the field. That Lions offense looked rough, and it was even though it was a 14-point game, it was worse than that because one of them touchdowns was just a late snag by the backup receivers. So I if I'm the Lions, I might panic a little. The defense somewhat looked solid like they were last year, but you can tell the cohesion's not there. A couple guys got hurt. Aiden Hutchinson ain't quite where he was last year before he got hurt, but he's coming off of a broke foot, broke leg, so that's going to take time. That offensive line, though, by uh, Detroit got pushed around all day. Goff had no pressure to very no time to little time to throw the ball. I felt like the Packers were getting pressure all game. In the run game, not a whole lot of chunk plays coming out of Gibbs or Montgomery. It was Lions got to figure it out because if not, they might just be an average team with really good weapons. And then we got to start asking questions: is Dan Campbell even a good coach, or was it all just Ben Johnson? Which we got thoughts on him from Monday night, but we'll get to that. Jordan Love came out, looked really impressive. He wasn't spectacular, but he made the plays he needed to. Josh Jacobs picking up right where he left off. The receiving core looks like it's stepping up. Golden got touches early, made plays, opened up the field for Jaden Reed to get a touchdown. Tucker Kraft got a touchdown. That offense was moving, which makes sense. It's still Matt LaFleur's system. Same group of guys for the last couple years now, so there's a little more cohesion going on over there. I'm still worried about some of the injuries on the offensive line, but they handled the Detroit Lions defensive line very well. So I'm interested to see how this team's going to play moving forward. And once they get into a groove, how well they'll look. But they looked impressive in that game. The last 4 o'clock game, Rams Texans. I thought the Texans were going to go in here and sneak a fast one by them. They did not. They did not. Rams win by 5, 14-9. Neither offense looked that good. Puka Nakua looked good. Devontae had a couple grabs. Kyron Williams had a couple runs. But this was really, I really want to talk about the Rams' defense in this game. Verse and Fisk are just flying around everywhere on that D line. The guys they keep getting in the secondary, these young guys in late rounds, are just spectacular. I know there was one play, CJ Stroud throws a high ball to this big body tight end and almost overthrows him. Tight end's starting to come down with it, and Kobe Durant just plucks it out of the dude's arms in the fourth quarter. It's like, who even is this guy? The guy's a baller. He's a Durant brother. He knows what he's doing. So they made CJ Stroud look like a bum. And I think that was when we gotta have a conversation about CJ Stroud. Is CJ Stroud even that good? Or did he just have the one good rookie year where he still had Brian Callahan calling his plays, who is now the Titans head coach and offense coordinator? 'Cause since then, CJ's not looked good. Some of us gave him a little pass last year because second year sophomore slump happens to a lot of guys. It's happened to Peyton Manning. It's happened to A lot of future Hall of Famers. That second year can be a little rough because teams now got film on you, so now you got to elevate your game. But while you're trying to elevate your game, they're scheming against you. So, but we're in year three, and I know that offensive line isn't very good, but you still got weapons on the outside. You're still supposed to be this quote unquote franchise quarterback. And last season and start of week one this year, you kind of selling the bag. And I was a firm believer that he was going to be a solid guy in this league, arguably top six, top seven in the league. But now, I don't know. I mean, looks kind of average. Looks kind of average. So I think Texans offensively got to go back to the drawing board. Defensively, they're just fine. They're just fine. Still got a top three corner, future top three edge, and Daniil Hunter. That linebacking core is making plays. Defensively, I think they're going to be fine, but they need the offense to step up because eventually this defense is going to wear down late in the season. If offense can't keep drives together to give them rest and put points up, it's going to be a long, long season for Texans fans. Rams, still a little worried about Stafford getting older. The offensive line didn't look great at times, but I trust Sean McVay. They always seem to figure it out by week 5, week 6, and then from there is when they go on their run, make the playoffs, win a couple games. So I'm not super worried, but at some point, when does McVay look to move on from Stafford and get to the future? I don't know when that'll be. Could be next off season. Could be 2 more from now. I don't know. It's just the Stafford injuries are starting to pile up again, especially the back. When we're talking about a back injury on an older quarterback, is where things get a little dicey, a little scary. So we're gonna have to watch and see how that goes for them. And the game I thought was game of the week. I mean, this game we knew going in was gonna be a great game. I think it surpassed expectations. Ravens go into Buffalo and lose a game they shouldn't have, a game they shouldn't have lost. All night, Ravens ran the ball down the Buffalo Bills' throats. And then when they finally decided you can't run the ball anymore, the passing game opened up. I mean, Derrick Henry, 2 touchdown night, over 100 plus yards. Lamar Jackson, I think right at 100 yards and a touchdown. I think Lamar Jackson only had 5 or 6 incompletions all night. I mean, they were phenomenal offensively. The Bills were able to keep up for a little bit, fell behind 15 with they were down 15 going into the fourth. They were starting to fight a little. With 4 minutes left, Bills are still down 15. Put up a touchdown on the board, get a stop. I say get a stop. Force the Derrick Henry fumble, which we don't see a lot. For how long Derrick Henry's been in this league and for how old he's starting to get, not a big fumbling guy. But they got the turnover they needed, immediately went down and scored again. Now all of a sudden we're looking at a 2 point game with right around 2 minutes left, 3 minutes. Ravens can't get a first down to save their life. Bills get the ball, go right down the field, kick a game winning field goal. I mean, a 15-point comeback in 4 minutes. Peak cinema. What other first Sunday night football game could you ask for? That's phenomenal. We got 2 teams that are going to be battling to go to the AFC Championship or could play in the AFC Championship depending on the year goes. And we get that match week 1, and this type of game we get, phenomenal. Felt like a playoff game through and through. I mean, Buffalo was rocking, but even though Josh Allen and the boys pulled it out, I don't think it's Lamar's fault that they lost. I think Lamar played great. Hell, I don't even blame Derrick Henry for the 1 fumble. He played great outside of that. It was more situational, but at the same time, that raises defense. You have to play 4 minutes of defense. You can't not give up 18 points in 4 minutes. I don't know. I don't know. I think they got some film study to do, some looking back on to do, is because there's really no excuse of losing that game. You shouldn't lose that game at all. You were in your driver's seat the whole game, and then you go and piss it away the last 4 minutes. Great game, though, from both quarterbacks. I feel bad for anybody who played against them in fantasy. I'm happy for you for anybody who played with them in fantasy. They single-handedly won your week one games. So, just all around, that's why they're the top two quarterbacks in the league. I almost feel like after this game, there's really no debate. Top two quarterbacks in the league to go blow for blow and just muddy it out on Sunday Night Football. And another game we got right. This is the last game. This is the Monday night game. Vikings and Bears. Vikings pull out of this with a win. 27-24. I'm not going to lie. In the first half, they had me in the first half. Caleb Williams looked good. That defense looked good. The whole offense looked good. Vikings looked like a shell themselves. Defense was still there, but we were like, uh-oh. Did they miss on JJ? Is he not the guy? Third quarter was the Bears offense kind of slowed down. Still got a couple first downs, but didn't really do a whole lot. Fourth quarter, it's like the Vikings flipped a switch. JJ comes out, 6-play, 60-yard drive, boom. Gets him right back in it. We're like, okay. They turn around. Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen are wreaking havoc on Caleb Williams in the backfield. They get stopped, get the ball back. They go right down the field again. J.J. McCarthy, another dime to Aaron Jones. We're like, okay. Right back in it. They're up 4. It's 21-17 at that point. We're like, okay. Turn around and get the Bears off the field again. We're like, all right, JJ, show us the third time. Do something. Marches right down the field again. Walks it in for a touchdown to go up 10 with, I think it was like 6 minutes left in the game. I'm like, dude, what happened? Because that Bears defense is, I still think, a very good defense, but it's like JJ just flipped a switch. He got that first touchdown throw and kind of started feeling confident, and then he was just torching them on the ground, in the air, hitting his playmakers. I was very surprised with him. He kind of proved me wrong. I was like, okay, JJ can play ball. Caleb, on the other hand, still kind of the guy that he was last year. Didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, and he's got weapons. I mean, his receivers had a good night. He made a couple good throws. Looked like an NFL quarterback. He was able to elude pressure, make some plays, but I think what really killed him was Ben Johnson. Even though offensively, I think he called a really, really good game. It was situationally towards the end with clock mismanagement, lack of use of timeouts at certain times. It almost looked like Matt Eberflus's clock management last year. So I understand it was his first full regular season game as a head coach, going against one-on-ones, and the Vikings strictly won based off of playmaking, but coaching. They had the coaching advantage in this game, and Kevin O'Connell, not Kevin O'Connell, yes, Kevin O'Connell coached a hell of a game. Brian Flores coached a hell of a game on defense. I wouldn't necessarily write off the Bears yet. I think they still got weapons that work. They got an offensive line that looks like they're playing solid. DeAndre Swift played solid. I think a lot of their year is going to make or break on the back of Caleb Williams. And if they get to Caleb Williams they had in the first half, they could be a team that's looming in not only the NFC North, but in the NFC in general. But if they get in these tight spots again, and that's how he plays, there's going to be a lot of chatter in Chicago, and not the good kind. But for the Vikings, congrats, you're 1-0. You get another early division win, which seems to be the key. Right now, you're tied with the Packers for first in the division, and I think they play each other soon. So I'm excited to see how those two offenses play against each other and the defenses. That'll be a great game. All in all, I think we had some great games this weekend. There were some that were ugly, but I think it's due to the fact that it was still week one. A lot of teams are still meshing on offense, but the ones that have been together and have continuity, they played well. Ultimately, my simple reaction for the weekend is defense will win you games or keep you in them, but the more consistent offense is going to pull it out in the end. We saw that time and time again out of a couple big games from great players. So I'm interested to see how week two is. I'll be talking about week two tomorrow. Do a little predictions video. So stay tuned for that. And if you haven't, hit the subscribe button, like the video, tell me your thoughts, feelings, something you wish I covered a little more. And if you're not subscribed, just give us a chance. We're building something over here. Have a good day.